And here we go.
We are the New York Knicks. I'm back. Back in New York. Well, it's the Knicks. New York. We are the New York Knicks. New York. For this new season we're about to enter, the Knicks taking no shorts just like winter.
New York, New York.
New York be about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is
K-N-I-C-K-S.
Everybody say go New York, go New York, go!
Go New York, go New York, go!
Hey everybody, it is the New York Knicks podcast, episode 622. Welcome back. It has been 24 hours since I recorded, and we're back at it again. This time, Mark is here.
Yes, it's what's been 140. Been a lot of hours since I last recorded.
Yeah. So today we are going to do our standings predictions and our comments on over-unders for team wins.
Team wins.
Yeah. And that should take the whole episode. So
that will take the whole episode. It's still preseason. Some stuff is going on. Not a lot is going on. The Knicks played Minnesota the other night. They lost. And so it looks like they will not win the preseason championship. Are you impressed with the fact that Tibbs has not gone all out to win the preseason championship this year?
I like it. He's trying different looks. He's playing some players that I guess he wants to see more of, and that's good. If he was just doing like, this is our starting line for the season, I'm going to play them 30 minutes in preseason when no other team is, I would have been like, that's not a great strategy.
I mean, it feels like that he's done that in the past where like, you're like, why is Randall playing 38 minutes when this game doesn't count? So it's refreshing to see him not really care about the score or outcome. Barrett, maybe a big story in preseason in the sense of like he's getting to the line a lot and hitting most of his free throws.
He's 18 for 21 for the preseason?
Yes, he's been awesome.
And that's just two games.
Line.
21 attempts in 2 games is a lot.
If his big offseason improvement was to drive more to the basket and hit his free throws, that is a tremendous step up for him in terms of his worth on the court. Basically, he's going to be a much better player if he gets the line more and hit his shots.
Agreed. It looks like his shot's still going to be iffy, but if he's going to drive most of the time, I can deal with the inconsistent shooting.
Yeah, he shot 8 3-pointers, getting out, trying to get all his misses out of the way for the season, which I really appreciate. McBride hit 4 threes in the game, and McBride, is this the year that McBride becomes more playable?
It'll be great. I think his defense is there. I think he's not playing because his offense has been really, really spotty. So
his defense is great. His defense is like close to me, not like an NBA first team defense, but like his defense is
well above average.
Well above. It's close to elite level defense. He just has to play if you get some shots and play some offense, it would be fantastic. I mean, Knicks have a lot of guards, so it's hard for him to break in, but it's helpful.
Well, like you said, there's always going to be opportunity. Somebody's going to get injured, or they'll have a rest day, which they'll call a sprained ankle day now, or something will happen, and there'll be playing time available.
One other note for the game, DiVincenzo had 2 steals, and I only mentioned that because now they have a couple guys between him, Grimes, McBride when he plays, who can get some steals. The Knicks are under Tibbs have been one of the worst teams as far as turnovers, like just getting turnovers in their favor. Mm-hmm. Having another guy who can get some turnovers, get some steals, makes a huge difference for the team.
It does. Arguably deepest bench in the league.
Yes. There was some ranking some site did, and they actually had the Knicks bench as the best bench in the NBA.
Yeah.
So we like that. Knicks are going to be good. They play 2 back-to-back preseason games coming up very soon. But let's switch gears for the sake of time. We want to do under over first?
I know you do, so let's do it.
Let's just do it. Okay. Starting with the Atlanta Hawks. 42. This is from covers.com. They have the under overs. That's the ones we're using. It's a betting site, whatever. The Hawks, 42.5 victories. The Hawks in the offseason made not many deals. They got Patty Mills. They extended DeJounte Murray. This is the second year they have DeJounte Murray. Maybe he'll fit better with Trey. What do you think? 42.5 wins.
And they lost Collins.
And they lost Jason Collins, which is kind of a big move also.
I'm going under.
I think they're not going to be that good. I'm going to agree with you on that.
They seem to be a team that looks good on paper and just doesn't fit right. Something's off with that team.
I think at some point they're going to have to choose either DeJounte Murray or Trey. I don't think Trey does not play well off the ball, which is
Yeah.
really hurts you. And it's hard to have a 2-point guard system if one of the point guards can't play off ball.
Yeah.
So not a fan. And Celtics, 54.5 victories. The Celtics have, I mean, they don't have the deepest bench, but their starting 5, top 6 players are pretty goddamn elite. They added they added Porzingis. They had Drew Holiday. They extended Jaylen Brown. They look like a goddamn good team. What do you think, Jay?
Yeah, they lost like all their big men.
All the Al Harrington, the Celtics are going to be in trouble when Al Harrington gets injured.
Horford.
Porzingis is an injury risk.
Horford.
54.5 wins, though. Like,
You said Harrington. He hasn't played in like 10 years.
sorry. Horford, sorry.
I thought you were doing a joke, so I waited, but I was like, nope. That's just...
Nope, no joke. I'm bad with everything.
So
I knew Al Horford. Sorry. I also think Al Harrington was underrated, Nick. Go on, Jay.
I liked him.
Yeah.
That one's close. Like, I guess I'm going to say over, but I feel like that one's like pretty spot on.
Okay, I guess we're gonna have trouble disagreeing with each other. I think the Celtics they're good. They have too many good players. They're gonna win more than that game, more than that. The Nets, 37.5 wins. The Nets, last season they lost all their big players. But they're gonna have a whole year of they have a whole year of Mikal Bridges, who, like, when he got there was kind of an all-star. They signed Cam Johnson to a long-term deal. They agreed to a deal with Dennis Smith Jr. What do you think about the Nets, Jay? 37.5 victories.
I'm going to go over.
Ooh, why do you say that, Jay?
I think they have a decent team. Like
Blasphemy.
Johnson, Claxton, Thomas, Ben Simmons is back. I think they're all right. I think they're going to be like around 500. I think.
Do you believe Ben Simmons is actually back?
I think
know
Ben
he looked
Simmons
good in a preseason game.
I think he's back compared to the last 2 to 3 years. I don't think he's back to all-star level, but I think he's back to like playable.
I mean, he was unplayable last year for the Nets, and when he was on the court last year, they couldn't even find a way. Like, he was terrible for them.
Yeah.
You think he's back to being like
Decent,
closer to previous version?
closer. Yeah.
I mean, if that's true, that will be the Nets look a lot better. That opens up tons of possibilities for them. I don't think it's true, and I think the Nets are going to be worse. Hornets, 31.5.
Under.
The Hornets' big move was to take a what's his name? They passed
Kai Jones. Waving Kai Jones was their big move.
No, the draft pick.
Oh.
Brandon Miller. Also, their big move was to give Miles Bridges a team to get suspended from again.
So no matter what you said, I was going to say under. I think they're the worst team in the league.
Frank Ntilikina is on the team. The coach has said he's the best defender on the team. And the coach will have to defend the rest of the season not playing Frank Ntilikina, even though he's... do you think Ntilikina is going to play? He played... Do you think he gets any significant minutes on the Hornets? A terrible team?
No, I don't.
He would logically be a guy to pair with LaMelo Ball, who doesn't play a lot of defense.
So I'm saying they're the worst team in the league. I did draft 2 of them in the fantasy draft on Saturday.
I think they're going over. I think they're going to be better than you think, even without Miles Bridges.
Okay.
The Bulls at 37.5. Their big moves last season were, or this season, they didn't do much. They got Torrey Craig. They're a bad team.
Under.
Definitely under. I also expect them to trade away their pieces by midseason. Like, do you think this team stays intact for the whole season, or they just blow it up halfway through the season?
I think they stay the way they are because I don't think they're going to get a lot of offers of equal value for DeRozan or Vucevic. I think they're kind of
Zach
stuck with their
LaVine
team.
and DeRozan will not be on the team by the end of the season.
Okay. All right, that's it's a hot take.
I don't think it's a hot take. I think it's looking at looking at reality for them.
Well, there's what they should do and what they will do, which is usually different for most teams.
The Cavaliers, 50 wins. They have a very good team that couldn't get past the Knicks last year. They made their bench better. They added Strus. They added Niang. They re-signed Levert. Got Damian Jones. Cleveland. The young guys got older.
I am going to go over. They won 51 last year and they got slightly better.
I'm going to go slightly under. But
Okay.
I pay 48, 49. I think these lines are pretty tricky, and I think
So you think they peaked?
I think they peaked.
Okay.
Yes. I think they're going to have issues that related to like the fact that they lost last season to the Knicks. They're going to try to overcorrect or like I think they're going to have some issues. I think Donovan Mitchell is on his way out, and this season will cement him being on his way out.
So you think the whole team is going to be like Randall after the Atlanta series, where he's like in his own head, and he's just
I think
off?
it's yes. I think the team will be in their own head. Absolutely.
Fair.
Dallas Mavericks 43.5
Under.
So I was going to say to you, Jay, if we're going to have a lock for beating something, like I think this is, I would bet, I guess I'm not doing it right now, but I think I would bet a good amount of money. I don't want to bet on Kyrie Irving, but like they're going over.
I would bet a good amount of money that they are under.
You want to make I don't want to bet on, I don't
Burger
like Kyrie
bet? I
Irving.
mean,
No, I don't want to bet on Kyrie Irving because I really just don't like. I don't
think Kyrie Irving has anything to do with this.
I just don't think they have I think they're going to win more than 43. They have too much talent.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay, name one player on the entire team other than Doncic or Irving.
I think Doncic is good enough to get them to 43 wins.
They're projected starting
44
lineup.
wins or whatever. Sorry, what?
The other three starters in their projected starting lineup is Josh Green, Grant Williams, and Derek Lively II.
Okay, I actually don't think Josh Green is as bad as you think he is. I think he's actually a decent player. Grant Williams also is a tough, decent player. They got Dwight Powell. They don't have an amazing team. And they got Rashawn Holmes, which I think actually was a pretty good get from the Kings. He's a little bit underrated.
He's always healthy.
I mean, that's a solid point. They got Seth Curry who can shoot. I just think alone you have Doncic. He is one of the best players in the league. A player of that caliber can carry a team to above 500. I think if you told me like 50 wins, I'd say not a shot in hell. They're not necessarily going anywhere next year, but the bar is really low for them. 43.5 is really low.
Really low.
I will almost guarantee 45 to 47 victories for Dallas.
A player like Doncic can always carry you to above 500, except literally last year when they had 38.
They were bailing on the season by then.
Just the last game.
I
They almost
think
had 39 if they didn't tank that last game.
I would be really shocked if Dallas is that bad this year.
Okay.
They're a tough team. I think they're going to be a good team. And Kyrie is, whatever you want to say about Kyrie, he's also insanely talented. They have guys that will win games for you on many nights.
I think they're garbage.
Okay. I hope they're garbage because it'll be just very funny in the whole Kyrie scenario. And it also mean maybe Doncic will be traded. Denver Nuggets, they are at 53.5. Not much of a change to the roster. The roster's basically the same.
I know, but
why did they sign DeAndre Jordan to a multi-year deal? You couldn't find anyone else
they
less washed
lost
up?
too many bench players and they panicked. I'm going to say under.
Ooh. Not arguably. They might be the best team in the NBA. I'm going to go over. I don't know how you can not go over.
Well, they had 53 last year, and I think they got worse.
I think they got better. Is that they only had 53 last year?
Yeah. The West is really tough.
Okay. I mean, that's actually a solid. I forgot how many wins everyone got last year.
Well, I mean, you had 7 teams between 42 and 45 wins. Like, the West is really deep and really tough.
That's a solid point.
And I would
Someone did
argue,
your
like,
research.
4 of the teams below that got better. So
You've made a solid case for Denver under. I'm still going to go over. The Pistons at 28.5.
under.
Isaiah Stewart agreed to a 4-year extension because they didn't have 7 other centers on the roster. What the hell are the Pistons doing?
Hornets and Pistons, I didn't even need to listen to what you said for the lines. I'm going under on both of them. So that 28.5 means they're going to do 12 games better than last season.
How many wins did they have last year?
17.
We probably should state how many wins they had for last year.
Under.
In their defense, I guess in the argument for them would be Cade Cunningham should be healthy this season in theory. He was starting to take a step forward before getting injured.
Yeah.
Jaden Ivey, year 2. Got a lot of talent. They got that center the Knicks didn't draft, or Knicks traded to them.
Jalen Duran.
What did you say?
Jalen Duran.
Yeah, they had to get Jalen Duran. They got the Wiseman. They have a lot of talent on that roster.
Yeah,
they still got Bogdanovich for some God no reason. God knows what reason they haven't traded him away. They still got Alec Burks.
Under.
In theory, they should have enough talent to win 29 games.
No.
I am going to go over. I think they got too much talent. They're going to look a little better this season.
Okay.
Golden State Warriors, 48.5. They big moves. They added Father Time at point guard.
What
do you think of?
I'm not a huge fan of the Paul move, but Moody and Kuminga have looked awesome in the preseason. If they both took a leap, that changes their whole dynamic.
Cool. So you're saying they've looked really awesome in games that don't count.
I know not to get too excited, but they didn't even look at him preseason last year, and I think Moody had 26 last game. Like, he looked really good.
Paul is going to be injured for some long stretch. Steph, who's awesome, is going to miss some games just because he's getting older. Green's going to miss some games. I don't see how they get the 40. I mean, you just talked about how tightly packed the West is.
Yeah, I'm going to go under, but I don't think I think they're better than last year. I still picking under just because the West is ridiculous. There's only 2 teams that had above 50 last year. It was just
really?
It was just Denver,
Milwaukee,
Denver and Memphis, 53 and 51. I'm talking about the West.
Oh, the West. Okay.
Yeah, like half the East got over 50 because the bottom half of the East is just such trash.
Houston, 31.5. Their big offseason move. I mean, they had a huge move in getting Fred Van Vliet to a 90 mil, like a huge goddamn contract. How much was that contract?
Too much, by about 50 million.
How much was it?
I don't know. It was way.
It was something ridiculous. It was something ridiculous. That was really the major move. And then all the young guys. They got Dylan Brooks also to a big 4-year deal. That was also way too much.
Young guys. That was inexplicable.
Yeah, the young guys are getting older. Do you think they have it together to put up 32 victories?
Under.
Yeah, I don't think Fred Van Vliet solves there. The point was to we're going to get a very veteran point guard to kind of corral all this stuff. I don't think so. Jay, you drafted in your fantasy league Sengun. You really think Sengun's going to have a big year?
I do. He was 15, 9, and 4 last year, and they didn't give him any help in the front court. So, I think he's going to have a very big year.
Okay. The Pacers, 38.5
Houston
victories.
had 22 last year, so them winning 10 more than last year is insane to me.
How many wins did the Pacers have last year? Maybe we should say it every time.
I like having you guess and then telling
No,
you.
just tell me. Come on.
They had 35.
Okay, so 3 more victories, 38.5. Their big addition was Obi. Obi, the greatest player to ever be named Obi. How much better? They're a young team. Halliburton was signed to a huge deal. He's yet to be healthy for a whole season. What do you think happens this year? And they also got Bruce Brown for a 2-year deal that was way too much money.
Under. I think this team's miserable.
You think they're going to be miserable? You don't think I think they're going to be better than they were last year.
No, I think they're going to be really bad. Well, they had 35, so better than last year.
Yeah, I just don't think. I think they may not a team that will be better, but it won't necessarily translate to many more victories. I think they should be better without necessarily winning any more games.
Okay,
that doesn't make any sense.
No, doesn't.
I'm on paper they should be a better team. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, under you're going.
Yeah,
I can't argue with you. The Clippers at 46.5 wins. How many? Last year, I'm going to guess they had 43?
44.
Okay. The Clippers' big move on the offseason was not trading for James Harden.
Well,
They also got
I mean, the rumor
Yes,
is they're still trying, but they won't add Terrence Mann. Apparently, they've offered cap filler, a first rounder, and a pick swap. And their response was, we don't think we should add anything else because nobody else is bidding. Which is fair.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
This is fair. They should be like, you know what? In the James Harden trade, cap filler is also untouchable. Sorry. I Philly probably should just do it, huh?
James
guess they're
Harden
hoping
pretty
that,
much
like, it just
said
work-
he's going to make life miserable for everybody in Philly. The whole city, anybody who lives there, people who have relatives in Philly, just anybody whose name begins with P. He's just going to make everybody miserable.
This is gonna be a fun team to watch, huh?
Mhm.
Uh,
I'm going.
and I
under.
guess the hope really is that like maybe his competitive spirit will make him just like play well next year, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go under. They are a veteran team with all injury prone vets.
Yeah. Paul George.
Kawhi,
Yes,
Powell, like they're all just injury prone.
I mean, watching them in the playoffs, the beginning of the playoffs when Kawhi was healthy, you're like, oh wow, Kawhi is really good. I forgot just how good Kawhi is. And then he never did. Then he played like after the second game in the playoffs, he was like, okay, I'm done. See you next year.
Yeah.
Load management includes not playing in the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I know he was injured, but whatever. The Lakers, 47.5. That seems high. The Lakers really, they made their bench better. They extended Vanderbilt. They extended Austin Reeves. They got in they made a lot of in-season moves that made the team a lot better. And now they added, of course, the great Cam Reddish. They got Christian Wood for almost nothing. They got Gabe Vincent.
I'm pretty annoyed at how much better they made themselves on the fly.
They look like they did a really good job of a team that had no cap space. It's amazing how much better they made themselves and without any real cap space.
I'm going to go over. The Lakers always seem to piss me off in some way just about every season, and I'm sure they'll do it again this season.
I can't imagine who could get injured on the Lakers.
He said he's playing 82 games this season.
LeBron did?
Davis.
Okay. I was going to like, which liar said that?
Davis said that is his goal for the season.
What was his goal previous seasons?
It
Isn't that your goal every season?
wasn't, apparently.
Okay. I'm going to show up to work this season. Cool. There's no way they're hitting 47. They're going to be low.
Can you imagine showing up to your office job being like, my goal this year is to show up for work every day?
Okay, so the Memphis Grizzlies, who for the first, 25 games, they're missing Ja.
Mm-hmm.
They also they made a big offseason move. They got rid of Tyus Jones. They got Marcus Smart, who's going to add some toughness. They got Derrick Rose.
Mm-hmm.
They gave a huge contract to Desmond Bane. What do you think?
I'm going to go under. They had 51 last season. I don't think they do better than that.
It's hard to see how they would do better.
I feel like that's a team that peaked. I know they're really young. I just feel like it's an OKC situation where they were up there and then that's it.
They have a lot of depth.
I just don't think they're better than like the next 5 teams. I don't think they're better than the Nuggets, the Kings, the Suns, the Warriors, the Lakers.
I think not having Ja for that long is really tough. I'm going to go under. The Heat, 45.5.
Under.
Okay,
That's
just to talk
really high for a team that lost 2 key players and didn't replace them with anybody.
They lost everyone that contributed to the playoffs last year. They added they found a guy who was the assistant to the janitor in the Heat building. He's going to go off for 30 points a game this season. The Heat will just find talent.
They will. I still think under.
I think it's going to be around right here. I think this is a very, very good line for them. Yeah, slightly under, but not by much. The Bucks, 54.5. They added Dame. Huge move. And Brook Lopez's brother. Or
Robin, who's somebody drafted him in fantasy. I'm like, why? He's never gonna play.
you got Malik Beasley was an interesting move. But Dame is the big move. I am going 100%. How many wins did they have last year? Was it 54?
58.
Okay.
Most in the league.
I am going to go under. I think they'll have an adjustment period for this. I think it's going to be like more like 51, 52 wins.
What was it? 54 and a half?
Yeah.
That's really close. I'm going to say under, but like barely.
Okay. I think the Milwaukee's going to be very good, obviously, but I think the East is going to be a little more compact this year.
They
I guess,
lost,
like, more.
yeah, they lost their defensive front court. I mean, they lost Holiday and Grayson Allen. So they're basically trading offense for defense, defense for offense.
I think it means an interesting move. I think we'll see if it pans out. Will come the playoffs, but okay. The Timberwolves, 44 and a half.
Under.
The Timberwolves are a year removed from going all in to make the play-in tournament.
They won 42 last year, and they didn't do anything to make themselves better. I'm going to go under.
They signed Shake Milton.
Oh, 50 wins.
How many did they have last year?
42.
I guess the theory behind them would really be Anthony Edwards. He's continuing to get better. He's one of the better players in the league. He's going to, at some point, he could be a top 5 player in the NBA.
Yeah, I'm still going under.
Okay. I'll go under too. The Pelicans, 44 and a half. The Pelicans, their big move really is getting Zion back.
Yeah.
For how long? Hard to say.
I'm going to go under. Last year they had 42.
They had 42. Oh, I was curious about that. I'm going to go under as well. The next one's a tough one. The New York Knicks, 45 and a half. Last year, would they win 46 games last year? 47?
47.
Okay, 47 games. The only difference really is adding Dante DiVincenzo. The team also there's more continuity. They got to play together from day one. What do you think? 45 and a half?
I'm going to go over.
You got to go over, Jay.
Yeah.
How could you be a New York Knicks podcast and not go over?
I mean, they lost Rose and Toppin, and they got Dante. I think that's an upgrade.
I think that's an upgrade. I think the fact that the team has, from day one, they're going to have a better sense of how to play together. And Tibbs is going to have a plan from day one. There's 9-man rotation. I think good things are going to happen here. OKC, 44 and a half.
Oh, this one's tough. They won 40 last year.
They had 140, and they added Chet Holmgren. That is the big addition. That is a huge addition to the team.
West is so deep. I'm going to go under just because the West is so deep. But I think that one's really close.
I think if assuming Shea can stay a little bit healthy this year, Giddey's getting better. They're going over.
Okay.
OKC's going to be tough.
They are. The West is just so many good teams.
Really, the NBA in general, it's not a couple really strong teams. The talent has really been spread.
Yeah.
Orlando Magic. They didn't make any big moves, but the team has a bunch of young guys that are getting better. The Wagners, Banchero should be a bit better in year 2.
Mm-hmm.
Orlando's a good team. What do you think?
I don't think you said they're over under.
36 and a half.
36 and a half.
I'm guessing last year they won 32.
34. I'm going to go under.
I'm going to go over. They were a pretty good second half team, I think, last year.
They were.
Yeah, I think they're going to keep getting better. They're going to be tough. Here's one. The Sixers, 49 and a half.
Under.
Their biggest move was not trading James Harden. And I think that's a pretty bad big move.
Yeah. They won 54 last year. I'm going to go under.
I'm going to say this is my other lock is them going under. There's just no way they're getting there. The Phoenix Suns, 51 and a half. Their roster looks so different since last year.
Yeah.
Since the beginning of last year, that is. The big moves, obviously got Durant last year. They got rid of Chris Paul. They got rid of
DeAndre
their
Ayton.
center.
DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah,
They,
Ayton.
they got Nurkic and Beal. I'm gonna go under.
Okay, why? Oh, and
They-
they added Beal, obviously.
They had 45 last year.
But that's half the season was without Durant.
Yes, I think Beal and Paul
Almost actually not
is-
half. Almost the entire season without Durant, basically, because he was injured when they got him.
Yeah, I think they have a thin bench. They have some questionable health situations. I think when they're healthy, they're going to be really good. But that with the West being deep, I'm going to go under.
I find it hard to believe they're going to go under. I think they're going to go over. I think Durant's just. It's going to be. They're going to be too good. They're going to be a really tough team to beat. With Durant healthy, as long as Durant stays healthy, they're going on over. Trailblazers 28.5.
Over.
Why, Jay?
I think they're a good team, actually.
Ooh, a good team.
Yeah.
So their big offseason acquisition was Scoot,
Mhm.
who has, well, in a different year, would he have a shot at the Rookie of the Year?
Bless you. But yeah, Scoot with Simons, Ayton, Grant. I think it's a decent team.
No, they're not bad, and they went all in on Jeremy Grant for some unknown reason. Aren't they rumored to want to trade Jeremy Grant after signing him?
They're open to it, yeah, which is weird, but
Yes.
I think they have a decent team.
They have Brogdon. They have Robert Williams. Yeah, I think they have to be able to win 30 games with this roster, unless
Yeah.
Scoot's terrible.
Yeah,
Sacramento,
I hope
who
not. 'Cause
last
I
year,
bid on him pretty big in fantasy, so I hope he's not
Yes.
bad.
Sacramento 44.5 wins. Last year they were for a little while, everyone was like they were like the sweetheart. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, look how good Sacramento is." What they win 48 games last year?
Last year they won 48.
Okay. They didn't really make any big moves, but except for re-signing Sabonis to a big deal, but they have a really good team. 44 seems low for me.
Yeah, I'm going over.
Okay. The Spurs 29.5. How good do you think Wemby is?
I'm
Is
still
Wemby
going
going to be enough to get them a bunch of extra wins?
No, I think I'm still going under. I don't think they have enough around him yet to win 30.
I mean, 30 games is not a high bar, Jay.
It's not.
You don't think
but
Wemby's going to get some victories on his? I mean, the rest of the team's not like terrible or anything like that, but you don't think Wemby's going to win some games for them?
I think they're going to win some. They had 22 last year. I think they get better. 27, 28. Somebody's got to lose
find
games.
it hard
in
to
the West.
believe
We can't
they have Wemby.
like somebody's
But
got to lose games.
No one's going to lose games, Jay. No one's losing games next year. I find it hard to believe that the Spurs won't get over 29.
Like if every team in the West looks good, like somebody's got to be bad.
Yes, they're going to pick one team to lose all the games.
And that's Houston, I guess.
I guess so. I think the Spurs are going to go over. The Raptors 36.5, which seems low for the Raptors. They have a lot of talent in that roster, I think. They don't have the point guard anymore, though.
Yeah, I don't think they're that good. Last year they won 41. I'm going to go over for 36, but barely.
They replaced Fred VanVleet with Dennis Schroeder. Do you think that's a positive? I think that's a pretty big downgrade, I think.
I think it's a wash.
I go under. The Jazz, 35.5. Last year, they started off as being also like a Cinderella story. Everyone was like, they trade everyone away, but they're really good anyway. And then they didn't really do much last year. They got John Collins.
They won 37 last year. I'm going to go under.
Someone's got to lose. So I'm going to go with you on that one. And the last team, the Wizards, 24.5. Their big offseason move was to get rid of Porzingis and not bring back much for him.
I'm going to go over.
I'm going to go under. They're garbage. They're just worse. How? They got Tyus Jones. That's it.
They got still Kuzma, Gafford's not bad.
If you're asking who is going to lose games, the Wizards are going to lose games. They got Jordan Poole. They don't have a good team. This is a team that's kind of like they've started blowing it up, but just haven't officially blown it up yet. They're going to be terrible. They're going to win the teams.
I think they're going to surprise.
Okay. Do you want to do NBA standings?
Yes.
Okay. Are we starting best or worst?
Let's start best because that's usually easier to predict. It's not as exciting.
Okay. We starting with the East?
Sure. Let's do East.
Okay. I am going to say the best team in the East. Probably the
Shubnot says he was at the Spurs preseason game versus the Heat. Wemby is next level. I've never seen somebody that young score with alley-oops, dunks over multiple people, threes, fadeaways, and post moves all in one. I've only seen highlights. That's awesome that you got to go to the game. He does look way better than I thought he was going to be. Like I saw some highlights from him overseas, and I'm like, all right, he's going to be okay. I don't know how that's going to translate. He looks like he's going to just dominate from day one.
I saw the first preseason game. He looked kind of garbage in the first preseason game. Like you were like, maybe he's a little overrated. Since then, he's looked awesome, and he's going to get better throughout the season. I think it's gonna be. I don't know how you bet under the Spurs. He's going to be really good, and I want to watch every Knick game and every game Wemby plays. I need the Wemby NBA plan.
The West is just so hard because I could talk myself into 13 teams like fighting for the playoffs.
Okay, so the East, I'm just gonna say Bucks because they have Dame. They're still gonna be a very good regular season team, and I just don't see. It's usually them or the Celtics. I don't see the Celtics are gonna be better. I'm gonna take the Bucks first and the Celtics second. Are you taking? Is that the order you're taking, Jay?
Yeah. No,
Okay,
I'm gonna go Celtics Bucks.
Oh wow, huge change.
I think Boston is a little bit better this year.
I think Boston is I think the team. I'm more concerned for Boston's injuries than the Bucks injuries.
Okay.
Number 3, and I'm not doing this because it's our podcast. I'm doing it because I think the Knicks are this good. Number 3 are gonna be the Knicks.
Okay. I had Cavs at 3. I just think
Okay, let's end the show. We're done. We're done. You can't pick the Knicks here. Let's call this. We stop the show now. We're done.
I think the Cavs are a better regular season team, but the Knicks have their number in the playoffs. So I'm not worried about the Cavs in the playoffs. I just think regular season they'll put up more wins.
They'll get some more garbage regular season wins before
Right.
they're getting ready to lose to the Knicks.
Exactly. Shubnot said that the tickets were $12.
Holy crap.
Do you know how annoying it is being in New York? So I sent Mark this earlier. The game opener for the cheapest 8 teams combined is still less than the cheapest ticket for the Knicks. The cheapest tickets for the Knicks home opener was like $156, and other teams are charging like $12, $15. It's
For
gross.
$12, you couldn't get the person sitting in the worst seat in all of MSG to piss on you.
You couldn't get one drink.
You can't get anything.
That's not even a joke. Like a rum and coke's like $15. Anyway, so you have Cavs at 4, right?
No. I'm not taking the Cavs at 4.
Okay.
Because screw them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take. Are you writing all this down, Jay, for the off so we can look back at this?
Yeah, it'll be posted on our website, the NewYorkKnicksPodcast.com.
Okay. I am going to take the Heat, who will somehow end up at 4 because I don't know where the talent's going to come from, but they're still going to win games.
Wow. Bold.
I also just think the
predictions.
Knicks are in Cleveland's head, and they're going to have a worse season than people expect.
Okay. All right. 5, I had Philly.
Okay. Wait, where did you put the Knicks at 4?
Yeah.
Okay. 5, Philly. I'm going to take Philly at 5 as well, Jay.
I think they got enough talent. I mean,
No, actually, never mind. Not 5. Phil, you're right. Philly has a lot of talent. I guess I put the Cavs at 5 because Philly is going to be 6.
Okay. 6, I had the Brooklyn Nets.
Okay. You're really you're putting the Knicks too low, putting the Nets too high. You're a goddamn traitor, Jay. At At 6, I am going to put well, I said the Sixers, right?
Yeah, I have to have
So it's-
Philly. Yeah,
yeah.
I think
So
it'd be crazy
7, I
having
guess
lower
the
than
7 the
6.
Nets.
7 Nets. Okay. I had Heat.
Oh, okay, fine. 8, I am going to say
Gets tough from here, right?
yeah, it gets tough from here. I'm gonna say the Orlando Magic sneak into 8.
You're making this up as you go, right? You clearly didn't write these down.
Go fuck yourself.
Magic at 8. Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna go a little bit, and I understand how. Actually, I'm not even like I'm gonna make all these picks that are gonna be completely gonna be just regardless of what I just said for the over unders. But I'm gonna say the Magic. I'm gonna say the Magic are gonna be a better team than everyone expects. They're gonna be a surprise team at 8.
Yeah, I feel like these aren't consistent with your over-unders.
Whatever.
So I'm going with the Hawks at 8.
Okay. I am going to go with the the Hawks at 9.
Okay. Hawks at 9. So you have the. Oh no, you had. Did you have the Nets yet? You didn't have. You had
I said the Nets already. I said the Nets at 7.
Right. Okay. Okay. Hawks at 9. I have at 9 the Raptors.
Okay.
I think they have just enough random decent players to get in the play-in tournament.
Yeah, I'm gonna say at 10 the Pacers over the Raptors.
So you have the Raptors not even making the play-in.
Yes, I think they're gonna blow things up a little more.
Okay.
I think losing their point guard, I think, was gonna be a much bigger deal than you think it is.
I have the Wizards making the play-in at 10.
Ooh. I'm gonna sneak preview. The Wizards are garbage, and they're gonna be my last team. At 11, we're up to.
Mhm.
I guess 11 would be the Bulls.
The Bulls. I have the
The
Bulls at
Bulls.
11 too.
Okay. Number 12 is going to be. Did I do the Hawks already?
You did. You had them at 9.
Okay, yeah, I thought I did. Okay, number 12, we have. Who am I missing?
This is why you write them down, Mark. You have you're gonna have the Raptors. It's the
Yeah,
Raptors,
the Raptors, that's
Wizards,
right.
Pistons, and Hornets left for you.
Okay. If I go for the bottom, I think the worst team is going to be the Wizards. The second worst team is going to be the Hornets. The 13 will be the Pistons.
Okay. I had slightly different. So you had Raptors, Pistons, Hornets, Wizards for the bottom 4.
Yeah, Wizards are going to be the worst team in the NBA.
I had the Pacers, then the Magic, then the Pistons, and then the Hornets.
So the big one here is I think the Magic are going to really surprise you.
And I think the Wizards are going to surprise you.
They would surprise me if they win games. Yes.
Okay, West is really tough.
West is really, really tough. I am going to say number 1 seed here is going to be the Phoenix Suns.
That's fair. I went with the Nuggets.
Yeah, I think Durant. I think they're going to be a very good regular season team with Durant and Booker.
I do too. I think they're kind of thin, and I don't trust Beal's health or Nurkic.
Yeah, I mean that's totally fair.
Or Durant.
I think
really.
I think when you describe Cleveland being a good regular, I don't think Phoenix is going to win anything, but I think they're going to be a very good regular season team.
I went for rooting for the Suns for like a decade to just not liking their team at all.
Well, it's easy not to like any team Durant is on.
And Chris Paul, I mean, I know he's not there anymore, but they had Paul and Crowder. It's like and Booker, everyone was just flopping, and I just hate that team.
Okay, who are you taking number 1?
I got Nuggets and then Phoenix.
Okay, I mean that's the same thing. I just reversed it.
Yeah.
Denver's going to be really good still. I don't see how they're not number 2.
Yeah, I think that's the clear top 2 teams.
Number 3 is where it gets really hard.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, I haven't been saying who won how much last year. So last year, the Nuggets had the most wins at 53, and Memphis was second with 51. So only 2 teams with 50 in the West.
In theory, I might have to take the Lakers here at number 3. but I also think LeBron. I think they're gonna have so many injuries that I don't see how they actually get number 3.
I went with the
Kings.
Lakers at 3.
I think the Kings again. The Kings are a pretty good team.
Mhm.
Maybe they figure a little bit more out for the right. Like they had a very disappointing playoffs. I think Kings again at 3.
So you have Kings 3, Lakers 4.
Yeah, I guess I have to take Lakers 4. Yeah, that seems reasonable.
I had it flipped. I had Lakers 3, Kings 4.
Okay, 5. I
So
am going to.
last year, just for reference, Kings were 3 with 48, and Phoenix was 4 with 45.
Okay, I'm going to go on a limb here and say number 5 is the OKC Thunder. They start really putting it together.
Okay, that's so you think Chet makes a big difference?
Yeah, I think having a guy like him does make a big difference. Yes, I don't know how he doesn't.
Okay, I had them a little lower. I had the Warriors at 5.
Okay, the Warriors at 6 sound pretty reasonable to me.
Okay, Warriors 6. I mean, we're pretty close on our standings so far.
Yeah.
I think it might start varying soon though. I had at 6 the Clippers.
Okay. Wow, this is crazy rankings we have here. 7, I'm going to take the Pelicans. I don't think Zion will be healthy, but I think they have enough talent in that roster to still get a bunch of victories. I mean, they were really good without Zion last year. I think they have a very good team without Zion.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's tough. What did they finish last year? Pelicans were
They were 9, but
10.
like separated by like a very like a victory or two. Like everything was so
Right.
close together.
Yeah. 7, I had the Grizzlies.
Okay. 8, I take the Grizzlies. Grizzlies are still going to be pretty good. Can I flip? I'm going to take 7 the Grizzlies, 8 the Pelicans.
Okay. 7 Grizzlies. So we both had Grizzlies at 7. You had the Pelicans at 8. 9, I had OKC at 8, actually.
Okay. At 9, I'm going to take the Clippers.
Okay. I had the Trailblazers.
Ooh. Okay. At 10,
I think I'm higher on the Blazers than most people.
Yes, you are blazing something. Number 10, I am going to take the Mavericks.
So you went from this whole rant about how Doncic is too good, and you have them at 10. Should I just edit out that whole 5-minute rant about how Doncic's so good? And
you don't think he's really good?
Of course he's really good, but like you went on this rant about how he's so good they can't possibly be bad, and then you picked them at 10.
Yes, that is true.
When you look at the rest of the conference, it's hard.
It's really hard. Yes. By the way, that will be such a complete goddamn failure if they can't win 42 games.
Yeah. So I had the Pelicans at 10, and I had the Mavericks at 11, not even making the play-in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am taking at 11. I guess I am going to take Minnesota.
Yeah. Edwards is good.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so tough.
To round it out on my end, I'm just going to take Jazz at 12, the Trailblazers at 13, Spurs at 14, and the Rockets at 15.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the Spurs. I have to think the Spurs are going to be higher than I guess. Flip the Spurs into 12.
Spurs in 12, and then Jazz, Blazers, Rockets.
Yeah, I don't know how that happens, but I just think Wemby is going to be insane.
Yeah, I do too. The West is insane again. The West was like mediocre for about 1 year, and then they completely rebooted.
I mean, if you look at, I don't remember what the record that Cleveland had. Well, Cleveland was one of the worst teams in the NBA before they got LeBron, and once they got LeBron, they were a really good team. Not a really good, like year one, I think they were maybe like 41 and 40. He made a huge difference in their win total. When Shaq came into the league, he made a huge difference in the Magic's win total. I'm thinking Wemby's the guy that can make like that level of impact.
LeBron made a giant difference. It also helped that the East had like 2 good teams in the entire conference.
No, I'm just saying when guys at this level come into the league, they usually make you can see a team jump 10 games,
Yeah.
basically.
I mean, Minnesota made the playoffs almost every year with Garnett and Wally as like the second best player. Like, Garnett made a huge, huge impact on that team.
I mean, if you want to say most hype players of our lifetime, where do you put Wemby? Like the most hype players coming into the league of our lifetime, LeBron.
I mean,
Who else is?
our lifetime, you'd have to count Jordan.
Yeah, I guess Jordan. But was Jordan? I guess Jordan. You know, I don't remember what it was like when Jordan came into the league.
Yeah, we were too young then.
But I guess like Magic was obviously very hyped when he came to the league. Like that's technically in our lifetime. Jordan was hyped when he came to the league, of course.
Shaq.
But like in the last 30 years, I guess.
Yeah, I'd
it's
say
really
Shaq, LeBron, Rose.
I want to say Durant, but he wasn't even number one. Wasn't even the number one pick.
That was insane.
Yeah. Well, everyone thought Oda would be good. But
not this guy. Rose is pretty hyped up. But I mean, as far as generational, I would say it was Shaq, LeBron, Zion.
Yeah, Zion was pretty hyped. I think those guys are the guys that were most hyped up. Like, I don't know if there's a number 4 on this list, but like those 3 guys were insanely hyped up, and then Wemby.
Yeah.
And Wemby might be hyped up. If you're talking about level of hype, not higher than LeBron, but higher than Zion, probably.
Yeah. So I had Spurs at 12. Is that where you ended up? Yeah, that's where you ended up. I had Minnesota at 13, Jazz at 14, and Rockets at 15.
Yeah, I mean, that all seems pretty reasonable. I don't think we have to go through the playoffs now. Do you want to go through the playoffs now, or we can just say that?
No, I feel like it's way too premature.
How about just awards? MVP. Is it going to be Joker again? I mean, I don't know if I care about doing this, but MVP.
Yeah, it's probably Jokic.
Maybe Embiid gets it, or actually, Embiid can't get it on Philly. If I'm picking Phoenix to win the most games and win the West, then maybe it might be Durant.
I don't know. It's hard to win MVP when you have a super team.
Yeah, well,
this is why people are like, "Oh, LeBron should have had like 8 straight." I'm like, if he wasn't on super teams, he probably would have. Like, are you the most valuable player when you play with 2 other All-Stars? You can't tell what kind of difference they're making.
I guess Rookie of the Year, we're gonna say Wemby.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be better than Chet and Scoot.
Yeah, actually, it's a pretty good rookie class. I mean, I forgot that you have to include Chet. Yeah, it's a pretty good class. Okay, we had a couple questions for the Knicks. Just switching gears real quick. One, what is Fournier's role on this team? Is he a viable option as a backup 4 when the team needs scoring?
I don't think he's a backup 4. I think he could do a backup 3 or 2. But
I guess does he start the season in the rotation, Jay?
I don't think he does, but I would give him a look if the shooting is sketchy again.
Basically, if the team doesn't play well, you revisit the rotation.
Yeah, if you have IQ and Grimes and RJ all just bricking every 3 they take, you put Fournier in just to have a different look, because you can't shoot that poorly again. That's how we lost in the playoffs.
I find it hard to believe Fournier had a role in this team before injury, before the Knicks have a poor play. Mm-hmm. Frank writes, let's hear some bold predictions for the season. Not just Knicks, but NBA in general. I'll go first. The Celtics are going to flounder out the gate. Joe Mazzola will be fired, and Jeff Van Gundy will replace him.
I'd be so jealous.
Van Gundy joined the Celtics staff.
I know. I'd be jealous if they ended up with Van Gundy as the coach.
That was a bolder prediction that we've made. I did make the prediction that I haven't made that many bold predictions. Do you want to make a bold prediction, Jay?
Bolder than Portland making the playoffs and the Wizards making the playoffs?
Did you put the Wizards in the playoffs?
Well, the play-in. I had them at 10.
Okay.
The same with Portland.
I am going to I bet, well, I don't know if it's bold to say 30 games of the season, people are going to say, why is Dame and Giannis not working?
That would be hilarious. I'd say Harden gets traded
That's not bold, but
to the
yes.
Clippers, where he wants to go, and by the end of the season, he's asking out of the Clippers. He does 4 in a row. The never before that'll be an all-time NBA record, right? Asking out of 4 teams in 4 years.
Well, isn't already 3 teams in 3 years a record? So
Yeah, but we're talking like Stockton assist record, like never to be broken. 100
Cal Ripken here.
100-point game, averaging 82.5 minutes for a season. Like it's gonna go up there with unbreakable records.
Okay. Bold predictions.
48.5 minutes per game.
I predicted the Dallas would win 42 games. Bold predictions on the Knicks. We did that last show, I guess kind of. Any bold predictions on the Knicks that you I'm saying the Knicks. You know what? I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna switch the Knicks and the Celtics on my bold prediction. I'm gonna say the Knicks gonna have the second best record in the East.
Okay, you just want me to keep changing the website.
Oh, who cares?
I do. I got to do it.
Fine. I'm gonna go. I'll keep the. Yeah, I'm
Nope,
gonna put the Knicks.
You're
second.
locked in.
Yep.
You're locked in. I updated the website. You're locked in.
Okay, fine. What's your bold prediction? Now that I've been asked to do bold predictions, I'm like, shoot, I need bold prediction. I'm bold prediction. By the end of the season, no one will care the Knicks had traded away Obi.
Bolder prediction by game 12.
Bolder prediction: Cam Reddish will not be on the Laker roster by the end of the season because he sucks. Here, bold prediction: Frank Ntilikina will play more minutes a game than Cam Reddish does this season.
That would be such a fail for Cam.
I
I don't think Frank gets more than 12 minutes a game.
Okay.
But I do think Cam plays less than that.
Bold predict who's going to be traded this season. What big players or names are going to be traded before the season and before the trade deadline? I'm going to say Ben Simmons gets traded.
Yeah, no, Ben's back. He's not getting traded.
Okay.
I think Harden does.
By the way,
traded.
if you're the Nets and Ben Simmons looks good, don't you trade him because you know it's fool's gold?
You talk yourself into being a championship contender.
Okay.
Because you're insane front office.
Do you think the Dallas Mavericks will trade Kyrie Irving midseason? What about Kyrie for James Harden?
I mean, yeah, one head case for another.
Wouldn't that be hilarious?
It would kind of work like roster wise, though.
It would not be horrendous. That's the big trade. Kyrie for James Harden.
All right. And last bold prediction, Ja, third gun video.
No, I think people will talk him down from that finally.
He didn't learn for the first one. I mean, if he has a third one, he's like out of the league, right?
I
Or
mean,
at
does he get to be like the president of the NRA if he does that?
He's like up on stage with the My Pillow guy.
Yeah. The which team will we talk about teams that are having more wins than last year? What team will drop the most in the win total?
Dropping the most is probably
The Wizards, who will drop maybe 15 games.
no, definitely not. Heat. No.
You
The
could
Heat
argue
didn't-
that the Grizzlies will probably drop 8 or 9 games.
Yeah, the Heat didn't have a lot of wins last year. Yeah, that's not a bad pick. The Grizzlies.
I think OKC. I'm going to add the most victories. Actually, next to OKC and San Antonio compete for most improved team.
That's fair. Maybe the Timberwolves.
Are going to drop the most.
Timberwolves or the Bulls.
Timberwolves didn't win a lot of games. How many games do you think they're going to drop?
I don't know. Like
42. I mean, like if they win, like they have too much talent. They'll lose less. They're going to win at least 36 games.
I mean, I feel like almost every team got better, and the bad teams already had so few wins. This is like
But also Minnesota was missing Cat for half the season.
Like, I want to say Charlotte got bad, but they only have 27 wins. Like,
Yeah, how much worse are they get? Like that doesn't like. I mean, Detroit has a good chance of getting the most. Like they can go to 25 wins and add eight victories.
yeah.
Nets going, they're gonna if they win 37 or 38 games, that's a decent drop.
Yeah, I think they're going to hover around 500.
Toronto could lose. They won 41, they can go down to like 35, 34 wins. Magic, I said before, 34 wins, maybe 42, 43 wins this year.
Mm-hmm.
44.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bucks 58 wins, they can go down to 49 wins and not be a shocking like. That won't be crazy.
Right.
If Dame and John struggle a little bit.
I mean,
together.
even 51 wins would be a good season, and it's still a 7-game drop.
Yeah. Okay. Next week's show, we will wrap up the preseason and get ready for we'll basically preview the Knicks season and get ready for some actual fun basketball.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. nyknickspodcast@gmail.com is our email. nyknickspodcast on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Our tag is @nyknickspodcast, youtube.com/@nyknickspodcast, and twitch.tv/crumpledbacon. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining in the chat, and we will be back next week. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go.
This is the end.
Say goodbye.